So we out here. This isn't me golfing right now. This is actually my friend. Funny thing is, one day you're just going outside, riding your bike, and you're going to your friend's house unannounced to see if they can come outside and play. The next, you have to plan literally a week, 2 week, even a month in advance to link up and then put it on your Google Calendar and then set notification for 1 hour before, one day before, and if you plan it out far enough ahead in advance, 1 week before, just so you make sure that everything is copacetic and punctual. Making friends and having friend get-togethers, link-ups, whether it's just one person or a whole friend group, 3, 5, 7 people, we actually have to plan our outings. It ain't just no random pull up at the door and ask their parents or their parent if so-and-so is home, can they come outside and play? So right now we out here, we're playing, it's called Shack Jack. So it's a drive shack. And Shack Jack is basically an adaptation of blackjack for golfing. You have to get 21 by hitting the ball to the respective target to whatever number that you're trying to get. And if you bust, then you lose points. If you get 21, it's a perfect score. And if you get close to 21, then your score is based on what the dealer got. At any rate, I was losing bad. And you know what was wild? It was a combination of technicalities and low-key, I was still warming up. This was still early. This was like hour one of us at Drive Shack. And when I tell you, my friend was significantly better. Not even gonna hold you. He knows how to swing a golf club. But there was a couple times when in between turns, you have to make sure that you identify if you're gonna hit or stay. I forgot to hit the hit button a couple times, and then my turn timed out, and then I didn't get to finish. So there were certain rounds when I lost on technicality versus on skill. Now, I'm not gonna hold you. Even without the technicalities, he probably was still gonna get the best of me in any given round. However, your boy got better as time went on. I got my groove back. This is the first month, we in May 2024, at the recording of this video. I have been playing golf, or not necessarily playing the game of golf, but learning how to swing a golf club and make contact and hit the ball accurately with a little bit of distance and speed. I've been learning how to do that over the past 3 weeks. And it's been really dope. Like, this is my first time actively trying to learn how to play golf. And when I tell you, golf is way more difficult than it may seem. Watching it on TV as a child, I was like, this has to be one of the most boring games on the face of the planet. I only know about golf because of Tiger Woods, and I don't care.
We do not care.
But now, as your boy is approaching 30, I don't know. I feel a little bit differently about golf. Not gonna hold you. Not even gonna hold you. I feel a little bit differently about it. It sits with my spirit a little bit differently. It's just something about the technique of it all. We're learning how to swing. There's also something about the details of the game. It's not as fast paced as major team sports, football, basketball, rugby, water polo, or even a more high octane single sport like tennis. There is a sweet science behind the perfect golf swing. And I'm having a good time learning it. There's a reason why people be playing golf until their old age. It's because it requires more technique than it does brute force, brute strength, and agility. Like, you don't have to jump high to be a good golf player. You ain't got to lift 315 pounds 8 times on the bench press to be a good golf player. You don't have to run a 4.3 40-yard dash to be a good golf player. So as I tune in to what's happening, I'm getting more comfy with my swing, get more accurate. I can place the ball where I want to. I'm learning about all the different clubs and what they do and how to use them effectively. And it's just a great time. It's just a great time. Now, if you've never been to a place like Drive Shack or Top Golf or any of these interactive driving ranges, I highly recommend it. They're really fun. You don't have to know how to play to enjoy it. You can be trash at swinging a golf club and still have a good time. This is not sponsored, but if either one of these establishments would like to sponsor your boy, you got my email. There's someone on the internet. You can find me if you really wanted to. Now, as a note on friendships and adulthood, I want to circle back to that. Making friends after you're done with organized schooling, and when I say that, I mean after you're done with high school or college, if you choose to do that, or even graduate school, if you choose to do that. Once you're in the working world, or just you're no longer dependent on school to organize all of your activities and to organize all of your social environments, you got to be intentional about linking up with people who have shared interests. You got to be intentional about calling people and texting people. It's not always easy. You don't always feel like it if you're an introvert, especially. But it really matters, and it goes a long way. Having friends, having people that you can just chill with, chop it up with, go take a walk in the park with, go get some food, go see a movie, go catch a show, or even just link up at the crib and just exist in the same space together. I never valued friendships the same way when I was a kid. When I was a kid, everything was just convenient. It was just whoever was in your immediate space, there was a high chance that you can hang out with them, whether they live in your neighborhood, whether they went to your school, or you met them at summer camp and then you were friends for that summer and then you go on about your day. But when you're an adult, it takes energy. It takes mutual energy. Whether it's just you and another individual or it's a group, everybody got to put in. Everybody got to put in energy to communicate, to connect, to plan, to organize activities. And one thing growing up, I can remember when I would go to, like family functions or barbecues that my parents' friends, they would host. And I remember seeing how my parents' friends were and just how joyous it was every time we would go over there. And it was even amazing where their friends, are my uncles / aunts, not by blood, but by choice. And being able to connect with them really makes a difference. Like my parents' friends are people that I invited to my wedding. Like just not because they were friends of my parents, but because they as individuals played influential roles in my childhood and I wanted them to be there. And that's a very powerful influence when you really think about it. So now as I move into as I move closer to being a parent And I'm in that stage of adulthood where I'm thinking about family and friendships that I would like to have, where those friends would influence my children. That's a big deal. Like, the company that you keep is actually a really big deal. And it took me a while to truly grasp that and understand my direct role in establishing those relationships and maintaining them. But as I make this, I'm just solidifying the importance for somebody who may not have arrived at that conclusion just yet, or someone who hasn't had that realization just yet. It's not something that's automatic. It's something that you actually have to try to do. Now, an important thing to note when finding people that you would like to be friends with, a lot of it does start with common interests. So think about the things that you actually enjoy doing in a sustainable way, where you would be doing it by yourself regardless, without anybody having to coax you or having to force you or having to give you any external incentive to do. Think about the things that you genuinely enjoy doing alone, and then get in community spaces, get in activity groups where other people are also doing that same thing, so that all y'all can do the thing that you usually do individually together. So for example, knitting. That's a typically individual activity. But you get into a knitting group, then friendships can blossom. Now, it's not to say that just because somebody like doing the same activity as you, somebody has the same hobby as you, that y'all automatically gonna click. But that's just a really good place to start, because it can be difficult finding people to hang out with just from scratch. And I'm not the type to go to bars or to go to, major parties, and that's not my scene. So I'm not going to find a lot of human connection at the club. I'm not going to the club. I'm just not. It's not going to happen. But what I've been thinking about doing is joining a biking club. So I really enjoy riding my bike. So road cycling. If I join a cycling group or a cycling club, and I find other people who also like riding their bike, and then when I connect with them, we do group rides or go to other activities that are centralizing bikes and our genuine collective enjoyment of biking, then I'm making room for opportunities to connect with other people. It's not always an easy process, but it is a process worth doing, not just for yourself, but for other people that are connected to you. And whether that be children, if you have them or choose to have them, or your spouse, your partner, or other family members, or other friends. Because whoever's in your network, you can connect people to other people, and then other friendships can blossom from that. But also, you can pass opportunities through your network. So whether that be volunteer opportunities, job opportunities, other things that can just help people with daily life things. So you never know what can happen. So just taking a very, very keen step in cultivating worthwhile relationships as I make my way to 30.